Morning, everybody. I'd like to talk to you this morning about mindfulness. Um, I've founded Mindful Presence to give back to the community that has supported us through this amazingly difficult time. Um, it's been a time of survival, self-growth, and learning and sharing. And we would not have survived it if not for mindfulness and coherence, which we'll learn about soon. But the first thing I'd like to do, since I'm asking everybody for donations for Mindful Presence to support our efforts to bring mindfulness and coherence and emotional self-regulation skills and resiliency training to patients, families, and care providers, I thought I should take a minute and be mindful and give you our definition of mindfulness and how we get there. We all know that we live in a three-dimensional world. We have ups and downs and ins and outs and side to sides and volume. And we have a human mind that thinks and triggers emotions, and we have a brain that is a electrochemical factory that regulates and runs our entire body. In our brain, we have our forebrain, our prefrontal cortex that does our logical thinking. We have our reptilian brain that runs our autonomic nervous system and regulates everything on our body automatically. And we have our left brain and our right brain, our left and right hemispheres of our brain. And the left side of the brain constantly vacillates between the past and the future. It's always thinking about, here we are in a situation, remember what that was like before, let's not do that again. I forgot my keys, I better hang them up next time. Well, our right side of the brain, the creative side of the brain, is in the moment all the time. When you are inspired, create music, create art, connect in prayer or meditation. When an inventor gets divine inspiration, when a mathematician finds an equation, they don't invent it. It comes to you from the divine, and you're only receiving information from the divine when you're in the moment. So our reptilian brain does its job all the time. Our forebrain, we use it once in a while when we think logically. Most of the time, we are consumed with the left brain, thinking about the past, worrying about the future. And those are called human windings. In the Tao, they talk about Mu Shin, which means no mind. And in the Western world, no mind, mindless, is not a good connotation. But in the Tao and Chinese and Buddhism and East Indian and the Eastern philosophies and religions, being of no mind means you're not consumed by human windings. You're not held here by the thoughts and worries of our human world. Being of no mind means you release yourself from these windings. You release yourself from the things that hold us down into this physical world. When you become Mushin, of no mind, you have a lightness of being. You're no longer constricted by the human windings of earth, and you rock back and allow yourself to be in the moment. And mindfulness is an exercise of being aware of that. Eckhart Tolle says, we are not our thoughts and emotions. We are the awareness behind them. So once you become aware of yourself, become aware of the fact that your left brain, that's its job. It goes from the past to the future all the time. Your right brain wants to be in the moment, but it's constantly interrupted. If you've ever tried to meditate, which is different than mindfulness, meditation is to be mindless. It's to have no thought. It's trying to control your left side of the brain so that you can be in the moment. And the monkey mind won't stop. It'll continue to worry and think and plan. And you can slow that down. But when you sit in the moment and become mindful of how your brain works, you can become the awareness behind what the left brain's job is and what the right brain's seeking to do. Eckhart Tolle, when he was 29, was suicidal, depressed. And he had an aha moment when he said, I can't stand to live with myself anymore. And wow, I and myself, that's like two different beings. I'm aware that I don't like what I'm doing. So that was his aha moment, and he went on to write books and lead a spiritual awakening, an awareness awakening. The Power of Now is an extremely powerful book for millions of people. So being mindful is being aware. Scientifically, they call it metacognition, where you're aware of your awareness. You're knowledgeable about your knowledge. You are in the driver's seat of your awareness. You are the awareness behind your human brain. And through mindfulness, we find that we open up the door for amazing things, amazing healing moments. We access neuroplasticity, epigenetics. We enhance the ascending and descending information from the brain to the heart through the vagal nerve. We return to kindness that we were born with, the innocence of the child, without all these human windings and programs and preconceptions of ourself. And we can build resiliency as we sit back behind the moment and aren't consumed by the moment. We can learn to get through them without investing so much human emotion in human windings that keep us from connecting with source energy, the divine. So we're going to move into coherence. And when you're mindful, when you're in touch with your being and your feelings, and you realize that they're there for a reason, they serve a purpose, we can become coherent. And coherent is the balance between what we think and what we feel, what our heart's intelligence tells us, and what we feel and interpret in our environment from our heart, and what we think in our brain. And when we are coherent, we are in a perfect balance of, well, scientifically it's called homeostasis, where everything is balanced and working properly and doing its job. And in that balance, our autonomic nervous system vacillates between the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous systems. Both of them serve their purpose. Heart math teaches that your autonomic nervous system is like a tennis player waiting for a serve. You rock back and forth, you're not sure which side that ball's going to go on. Well, your autonomic nervous system does the same thing. It's not sure what it has to do next. Does it have to speed up to handle a stressful situation, or does it need to slow the body down to relax? So it vacillates. And heart math developed the M-wave technology, which has a monitor on your ear or on your thumb that picks up your heart rate, and your heart rate varies. You might have 80 beats a minute, but it's not consistent. It varies. It'll vacillate between, say, 75 and 95, and your average might be 80, but it's going to go up and down in a nice sine wave, and that's a sign of a healthy autonomic nervous system vacillating between sympathetic and parasympathetic, so you can respond to your environment. So when we're out of coherence, that sine wave is not smooth, it's very erratic. And with coherence and being mindful of that coherence, you can regulate your emotion and the energy you spend in your mind and in your body on the human windings of your environment. And with this knowledge and tools and science, we can give skills to everyone. But my mission, my passion, because of what I've just been through with McCoy, is to teach these skills to children that are going through undescribable struggles, torture, to live, to survive the cards they've been dealt. And these children did nothing to deserve this. It's not punishment from God. It's not a test. It's of the duality of the world we live in, where people put chemicals into the environment. Carcinogens exist. We created them. We put them in the environment, and they trigger a regulation or a uptick of a gene, and out comes cancer. And these children have to live with it. And again, they did nothing to deserve it. What they deserve is our help. They deserve the knowledge and the skills that we can give them to get behind their fears by being mindful, and to learn self-regulation through coherence training. And that's my mission. And that's why I'm here asking for your support to teach these skills and bring some stress relief to patients, families, and the care providers. Nurses and doctors give their heart and soul to what they do to help these kids. And they deserve the mindfulness and coherence trainings that are available, and to have the self-regulation and resiliency as well. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm about. That's my mission. And I have so much gratitude for the people out there that have heard our story and followed us and given the love and support. And I ask you to go to our Facebook page and our website, Mindful Presence and mindfulpresence.org, and support our nonprofit and support our efforts to bring these skills to these children and families. Thank you.